Right, hello Year 9s, this is Lesson 6 in the electricity booklet. For Lesson 6 there's two videos, 6A which I want you to look at first, and then 6B. This is 6B, look at 6A first if you would. So we're looking at this rule now, and we are looking at a very simple series circuit with 1, 2, 3 bulbs in it and a power supply, a variable DC power pack. Now I'm going to make this as simple as I can, right? The voltage around the power supply, V1, I'm going to say that that is 6 volts, okay? And the voltage around the power supply equals all the voltages around all the components added together. In other words, V2 plus V3 plus V4 has to equal 6 volts as well. Now, if these 3 bulbs here, V2, V3 and V4, if those bulbs are identical, it must mean that the voltage around each one is 2 volts, plus 2 volts, plus 2 volts comes back to 6 volts. That's rule number 2. It's as simple as that. The orange voltage equals all the blue voltages all added together. In other words, let's just have a look at this. Write out an equation. Number 3, linking those values. You need to understand that V1, which is 6 volts, equals all the blue voltages added together. So V2 plus V3 plus V4 also comes back to 6 volts. Now, I'd like you to go to FET, put FET circuit into Google and generate this circuit. You can see that this circuit has 2 batteries. That's the positive end and that's the negative end. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 bulbs. And what we're going to do is we are going to put a voltmeter around each one of those components and get a value, which is what I'm going to try and do now. So a voltmeter around the battery, 18 volts. So we can go back and we can write down here what is the voltage, what is the voltmeter reading around the 2 batteries. It is 18 volts. Okay, then what we're going to do is have a look at the left hand bulb, the bottom bulb and the right hand bulb, and get some voltage readings there as well. So let's have a go at that. Let's go back to the FET. So I'm going to put my voltmeter around this left bulb, placing the voltmeter around the bulb, and we get 6 volts. Great. Now the bottom bulb. Put the voltmeter around the component. That is also 6 volts. And then we're going to have a go at this right hand bulb. Put the voltmeter around the component and we get 6 volts again. So let us move back to this. Nice and simple. 6 volts, 6 volts, 6 capital V. we have been looking at the voltage readings in the circuit below. add in wires to allow the voltmeter 1 to 4 to take a reading. Remember, they are placed around a component in parallel. Okay, this is exactly the same circuit here. So let's give this a go. We put a voltmeter around this, the batteries, the two batteries. Then we place a voltmeter around each bulb. And you should be recognizing now exactly what is going to happen. Construct a results table, and in the left hand column write in voltmeter, so that is voltmeter, and the right hand column is voltage in big V, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 voltmeters, and the voltage in across V1, that was 18 volts. V2, the left hand bulb, that was 6 volts. Remember, I'm not putting in V here, I don't have to, because I've labelled up the headings with the correct units. Number 3, that's the bottom bulb, that was 6 volts. And number 4, the right hand bulb, that was also 6 volts as well. What was the voltage around the power source? That was voltmeter number 1. Voltmeter number 1 was 18 volts. Showing your workings, what was the total voltage around all the bulbs? Well, that would have been the 6 plus the 6 plus the 6. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to show my workings. 6 plus 6 plus 6 gives me 18 volts. So what you need to write down here for your conclusion is as following: the voltage around the batteries or the power source equals all the voltages around all the components added up together. Now, try this example. You can have a go at this on the FET, okay? But I think you might have... No, that will be fine. This series circuit contains 3 batteries and 2 bulbs. The bulbs are identical, so they're going to share the voltage between them. Each battery is 9 volts. Now we've got here 3 batteries, so the total voltage here across all 3 batteries is going to be 3 batteries. Each battery is 9 volts, so the total voltage is 3 times 9, which is 27 volts. Now, what is the voltage across bulb A? Well, the voltage across bulb A and B is going to be 27 volts, but we've got 2 bulbs. We've got bulb A and bulb B. So your workings would be 27 divided by 2, and that equals 13.5 volts. Check that on a calculator. And question 10, the voltage across B would also be 13.5 volts. And so complete the question 11. The voltage across the power source equals the voltage of all the bulbs added up together. Now this is a really important one, right? Finally, not all components in a series circuit share the voltage between them equally. This is the important bit here. It might not be splitting it in half. Now it says here, draw out this circuit using circuit symbols with 3 batteries, 1 bulb and 1 resistor. Each battery is 12 volts. So 1, 2, 3 batteries. Once again, I'm doing this freehand, but I'd like you to put it in using a ruler. These wires should be using a ruler. We've got a bulb here. We've got a resistor. No gaps. And then we go all the way back to the batteries again. Now, around the resistor, we have a voltmeter. Now that voltmeter is reading 20.25 volts. The voltage around the battery, because each battery is 12 volts, we've got 3 batteries, so it's 3 times 12 volts, which equals 36 volts. So, in that case, we should be able to complete this table. The power source, the voltage was 36 volts. The resistor, there it is, the resistor was 20.25 volts. So the bulb is going to have a voltage of 36, take away 20.25. I get my calculator and work this out. You can always use a calculator in your exams. And that gives me a voltage of 15.75 volts here around the bulb. So I just write that in, 15.75 volts. Now, the last thing is question 13, very unlucky for some. Did the voltages across the bulb and resistor, there's the bulb and resistor, if you added them together, the voltages across the bulb and the resistor, if you added them up, did you get the voltage supplied by the battery? Boom. So in other words, are the yellow numbers added up the same as the blue number? And my suggestion would be true. That is going to be the end of this lesson.